I think the Flip 5 is now one of the best phones for creators because of the bigger outer screen. When the first Flip came out, the form factor makes it so much easier to capture content, mainly because I can set it down and angle the phone without needing to bring a tripod. Throughout the years, they did add bigger screens, and yes, they were handy, but it was still too small to see the whole frame. Now, the Moto Razr Plus did beat the Flip 5 to the bigger screen, but I still find the overall camera better on the Flip 5, especially if you shoot video. So if you're new to these foldable phones, or if you're curious about how it is making content with these phones, here is the reason why I prefer to use them. First is not needing to bring a tripod, which I mentioned before. So if you want to grab group photos, self-portraits, clips of you eating, or just lifestyle shots in general, this is so much more convenient. Place it down on any flat surface and you can just grab a quick shot. Nowadays, I think grabbing any shot makes it feel more raw to your videos, and it shows that the action is more important to the story than getting like a super pretty or a professional shot. Next is using the back cameras. For you selfie lovers or vloggers, they tend to use the front camera because they can see themselves. Now, the front cameras are the worst performing ones on any phone, so having this external screen being so big and viewable, you get that same experience but with better quality. Also, you can take advantage of that ultra wide lens where you can get more of the environment, better group selfies, or even just vlogging shots, because I think the regular wide is just too close to the face to vlog. Next on the list is form factor. In my opinion, vlogging on the Flip 5 while it's folded feels more comfortable since it feels so much better in the hands. I don't have to awkwardly hold the phone if I'm using the back camera, and if there are other people walking towards my direction, they can clearly see that I'm recording myself, so it's kind of embarrassing. Therefore, I think vlogging and taking selfies with this phone in general makes it feels like you're not getting that much attention towards yourself.
Alright, let's do an audio test. This is how it sounds like with a little bit of wind in the city with a bunch of cars and, you know, the usual city noise. Just to see how it is without using a microphone, which you still can, and it's still pretty nice. Obviously, if you're vlogging, then of course you would want to use a microphone, but if it's just for simple shots, quick up shots here and there, hopefully the microphone is usable.
Last on my list is the flow. Once you're so used to the form factor, double pressing on the power button brings up the camera, and by the time you are in that vlogging position, the camera is already ready to shoot. And the fact that you know the angles already and being able to adjust or angle the phone while it's propped on the table, everything is just so much faster when you're used to the phone. So when you're so deep into using this form factor, you appreciate how less time you need to set up your shots. And it makes it so much harder to go back into the old school way where you would need a tripod, and by the time you set the tripod down, you would probably already have a shot or two done. And the last pro is a little bit more of a bonus, where if you have a friend that knows nothing about the camera and they're just holding it for you, you still have the external display to see yourself, so you can frame yourself and not worry about if they're shooting it or having it framed right. Especially being a content creator, you know what shot you want and you can easily adjust them, or you can adjust yourself. Now, the Flip 5 is not the perfect phone, and personally, I think the biggest con is the battery. Since we use the camera a lot, we know that the camera drains the battery really fast, and on these foldable phones, these batteries are not as big as the regular phone. Therefore, I would always recommend to bring an external battery pack while creating content for the day. And the next con is the phone can get pretty hot, especially if you're using both the back and front display. So far from my experience using the Flip 5, it has been the best so far, especially from the older generations. And even comparing from the Moto Razr Plus, that phone gets hot really fast, but this one takes the win so far for being the best for staying cool the longest. Now, the Flip 5 doesn't have a telephoto lens, but I can't really knock it down because I feel like using this phone, most of your shots are gonna be in the wide or ultra wide anyways, just for taking selfies and videos of yourself. Therefore, the telephoto isn't really needed unless you're behind a camera. The next con is the camera UI on outer display, which I think they can easily fix this problem. I wish they can add a quick button to switch from wide to ultra wide, because right now I would have to use my other hand to pinch to zoom. And it gets pretty annoying when I'm pinching out and it ends up being at 0.7x and not the full 0.5x. And of course vice versa, where I want to zoom into 1x but I pinch too much and it lands on like 1.3x. And my last concern is being able to record in 4K and 16:9 when the phone is propped up normally. So basically being able to record horizontally when the phone is placed in a vertical position. Now you can still do it, but the max resolution is in 1080p. I think this would be a really nice improvement because I do like how I can use the hinge to easily angle myself and get the shots I need, and still being able to record my videos for YouTube and not for shorts or TikTok. So those are my reasons why I love using this phone for creating content. Now it is not the best camera to get the best quality, but the form factor makes it so easy to use. Also, the Flip 5 gives you that same feeling and experience like using a regular point and shoot camera with the flip out screen. I would say this phone is perfect for the people that wants to get a quick shot of themselves as efficiently and minimally as possible. I can now confidently recommend this phone as an all-in-one foldable phone to someone who is starting out to create content. So let me know your thoughts about this phone and if you're still planning to get one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.